Marianne Williamson launched her presidential campaign yesterday, Saturday, March 4th. The media gave her some interviews on the heels of that announcement, which is honestly a little bit more than I thought they were going to do. But part of why some in the sort of progressive media space were excited about Marianne is because of the interview she gave to the Vanguard boys, in which she said that she would take a similar tack that Donald Trump took at the beginning of the 2016 primaries when he was asked the question, will you fall in line and support the Republican nominee in the fall, even if it's not you? And he famously said, well, it depends on how you treat me. And a lot of people in progressive media, I shouldn't say a lot, Vanguard guys, Brianna Joy Gray, they took that to mean that she was committing to a dirty break, meaning she would not endorse the Democrat in the fall, because they think it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to try to cheat her in some way. And of course, we are of the opinion that they won't, not because they wouldn't if they had to, but because they won't have to, right? So anyway, we kept saying, a lot of voices of reason kept saying, she never committed to a dirty break. This is nonsense. You're just wish casting this. You're just saying it because you want it to be true. She is not doing a dirty break. We guarantee it. Here she is on MSNBC when asked, predictably, this very question.
I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are thinking, what's she going to do if she's not successful? Will you support the Democratic nominee? Will you support the party if you are not the nominee?
I'm going to do everything possible as a patriotic American to make sure that the neo-fascist authoritarian threat that is very real in our country and is very entrenched at this point within the Republican Party does not win the White House in 2024. That's why I'm running.
Okay, there's your answer. No dirty break. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to do my patriotic duty and do everything I can to make sure that the neo-fascist authoritarian Republican Party does not win in November. That means she is going to fall in line. You do not refer to the Republican Party as a neo-fascist authoritarian party and then run as a third party spoiler candidate. You do not do that. She will not do that. Case closed at this point. Can the Vanguard guys please correct the record? Can Brianna Joy Gray please make clear to their audience so that they don't lead them down this rabbit hole for the next year? Can we just, everybody just cut the nonsense? Of course, there is no dirty break. There was never going to be
from Marianne Williamson.
From Marianne Williamson.
Of all people. Let me translate what she just said. I'm not going to do anything that is going to piss off my social set to such a degree that I stop getting invited to parties. I call it the Sarandon strategy. I ask myself before I do something, is this going to get me put in the Sarandon category in the minds of my wealthy friends? And if the answer is yes, I'm not going to do it. So that should answer your question, Jonathan.
Yes. And about this whole neo-fascist authoritarian Republican Party, because that's what they always use, right? They always say, well, we can't do a dirty break because of the authoritarian neo-fascist Republican Party. I'm sorry. Your president just blew up a pipeline that provides natural gas to our ally. Your president is an international terrorist. Okay, so I don't want to hear you fucking weaklings get all triggered about, oh, the neo-fascist authoritarian. First of all, that's just a signal that you're going to fall in line. Whenever people start talking like that, that's just a signal that they will fall in line behind the D team. That's all that means. Right. And of course, given everything that's going on in the world right now, I have no patience for people who are so triggered by that in that way.
Well, not only that, when you look at the two parties, when you look at their voters specifically, the ones who, and polling has shown this, the ones who least believe in democracy are actually your side. It's actually the Democrats, and this is why. The Democrats have so many views and so many cultural stances that are deeply unpopular. They know that they can only win through anti-democratic means unless you have a plague. Hence, they're deeply suspicious of democracy. Whenever you confront them on these stances, what do they say? Well, desegregation was unpopular once, right? So inherent in that comment is you don't really trust voters. You don't really trust people to make decisions. You're giving away the game right there. You're saying you believe that the country is made up of ignorant bigots who need to be forced to do the right thing by the government. So don't talk to me about fascism. What you believe in, what you really believe in, is a kind of left-wing totalitarianism. That is really what you believe in. You want a government that shares your cultural views. Most people who hold these views don't really care about economics. As you've often said, they don't have problems government can solve. They don't really care about that.
Yeah, so it's more a liberal totalitarianism, not to split hairs.
I don't mean it's a liberal totalitarianism. They want a government that can impose their social views on the population, and they're really not all. Who's for censorship? Who are the people who keep leaning on tech platforms to censor? So they're the fascists? I mean, maybe they are, but you're totalitarians. So
right, yeah, exactly.
It's not like you're great believers in the democratic process. You invoke the name of democracy the way the Roman emperors talked about the republic. It's branding. It's not a reality for you.
Please clap.